After I was made redundant, and after crying for a couple of years, I woke up one morning and thought, hang on a minute, I am not redundant. I am not redundant. I was then almost 60. I have no qualifications. When I was little, I was very ill, and I was mostly home educated, and mostly by my grandma. Plus I live in Motherwell, which is an absolute delight, but there aren't any jobs there. So what I decided to do was to combine my love of history and storytelling and to write educational books. And Carol, who also lives in Motherwell, was also made redundant, and we decided to work together. To begin with, we didn't do much with the new company, but then in 2008, so it's not long ago, totally unexpected things started to happen. God incidences. These have made Learn with Grandma known far outside of Wales. First of all, I won an international award for innovation in education, which was a bit of a surprise when you think I don't have a single qualification. But that led to me being invited to speak at International Teachers' Conference in Ukraine and at the huge e-learning conference in Berlin. The second unexpected thing was we were invited to be part of an EU funding project. Grundtvig is the name of the project, and Grundtvig was a bishop years ago who believed that people should go on learning all their life. The project was about minority languages, and as you've gathered, neither Carol nor I are Welsh-speaking, so we recruited Jean, and that's when Jean got involved. We also got help from Trinity College in Carmarthen and accepted the challenge. It brought in €20,000. And it was interesting, and it was fun. But we didn't realise this was the start of a European journey that Carol will tell you about. I just want to add one thing about that now, because I've known Carol for over 20 years, and she doesn't blow her own trumpet. Carol, with a lot of help from Rick Foot, created an end-of-project report that was so good it was mentioned in Grundtvig Dispatches. And I'm absolutely certain that the thorough report we delivered at the end of the project was paved the way for the success we've had since. The other amazing thing that happened in 2008 was that I won £10,000. They ran a competition, and you had to write out your life as a WI member and the things you do. So it included making jam and going to the Ukraine and things like that. And anyway, to cut a long story short, I made it to the top 10, and then the organisers decided to hold an online vote, and I thought, well, that's me out the window. But my grandson Adam put it on Facebook, my first experience of social networking, and I did a mail shot to my email list. Vote for Val went round the world instantly. You won't believe it, but I received votes from Ukraine to California and from Latvia to Australia in 2 days. I only had 3 days to work on it, and the third day was the Sunday, and I thought, I'm fed up with this, I'm going to take the dog to the beach. Anyway, I donated that money to Learn with Grandma, and we redefined our aims, still educational, but after reading the shocking statistic that over 60% of UK grandparents care for their grandchildren on a regular basis, we began to realise that Learn with Grandma had a much bigger role than just providing educational material for my books. Also, going to the Ukraine and the Grundtvig travels were taking us outside the UK, and we began to see a much wider picture. The social change we're experiencing here in Wales, with, on the one hand, more grandparents than ever providing hands-on support to their grandchildren, and on the other, as families are more mobile, many grandparents rarely seeing their grandchildren. This is not unique to Wales. This is a global change, one that is more evident in some countries than it is here. And it's all happened really, really quickly. You can't imagine now what life was like 10 years ago with technology. Millions of children in Africa, as we know, Phil, are doubly disadvantaged. They are reared mostly by grandmothers who are not literate, let alone digitally literate. Nearer to home, many parents from Eastern European countries get work in the West. Many leave their children with grandparents for months, years, with little parental contact. This in an age with Skype and internet. I don't have time to write my books anymore. I'm so busy telling people we can use technology to close the generational digital divide, a divide that has in part been caused by technology. Just as technology has broken down international barriers, we realise that technology can be used to lessen the digital age gap. So what exactly is this network idea, and what is the Learn with Grandma concept of intergenerational learning? Well, the first thing is it ain't new. It's as old as the hills. Psalm 78 tells us, "Teach the children the mysteries your father taught to you." What is new is that in this technological world, some of us have forgotten how important the link between the generations is, and society is the poorer. I don't agree when people talk about our broken society. It's not broken, but it does need a plaster or two here and there. It needs some granny cooch. There is disrespect between the generations, but I think that if we can encourage people to learn from each other, to have fun together, do things together, then we will encourage a greater understanding and respect for each other's skills, and they'll get to know each other as individuals. The world has a rich storehouse of knowledge, and we're in danger of losing a huge chunk of those riches, and we really do only have a couple of decades before the pre-digital older people pop off. We're not going to be around forever, you know. We are losing skills, we are losing tradition, culture, languages at an alarming rate, and yet we have the technology and the manpower to save it all. I can hold in the palm of my hand a microcomputer that enables me to access the World Wide Web, and therefore everything that is on the World Wide Web. It enables me to talk to people in other countries when I'm walking the dog. It really is a different world out there. Technology is not new to the young. It's the norm. What to my generation is either scary or magic is to young people the way it has always been. It's the way it is. Learn with Grandma concept is not so much about what people do, what they learn, it's about the fun activities they take part in. It's that they do these things using technology as the bridge, as the enablement to pass that message on. So in encouraging more interaction between the generations, we hope to encourage greater respect and understanding, and I hope that will help heal our not broken society. So the Learn with Grandma aims are very simple, and they can be adapted to suit local aims, local needs, local opportunities, local aspirations, but basically they're to encourage parents and grandparents to instill a love of learning and create lasting memories, to encourage respect between the generations and show that each has skills to learn. I heard of a little boy who saved his granny's life by dialing 999. He'd seen it on the telly. After I thought, bless, I thought, hang on, all children should know what to do. Now, the police do a very good job in going to schools, but they don't have anything for preschool children. So I started thinking about the thousands, hundreds of older people who look after their grandchildren on a regular basis, and both sides are at risk. Yes, that was a lady that had a heart attack, but actually, you can have an accident at any age. If you're a young mum at home with a child and you have an accident, the children need to know what to do. And actually, it's less scary if you know what to do. So I thought about this very simple card. And as you see, you can have it in Welsh or in English. And it's meant to be as simple as possible, so that you can dial 999, and then you put in the postcode, you tell them your postcode, and we also added grid references, either or. Accidents can happen at any age, and this simple card can save a life. But it also gives peace of mind. Because if you're a young mum and you've got to go back to work, my eldest granddaughter now, she's just had a baby, he's 5 months old. I saw him on Sunday, he's absolutely gorgeous. And she's got to go back to work because she's had her maternity benefit. And if she doesn't go back to work, then there's a problem. Well, fortunately, her boyfriend's mum is going to take time off work to look after when her boyfriend, who's a policeman, can't be there to look after him. Family support is so vital in times like this. But when Emma went off leaving with her well, she's not mother because they're not married, but that's how the world is nowadays. But when she goes off leaving him with her grandmother, Emma needs to know that he's safe. You see? Now, at 5 months, he can't use the phone, but at 2 years of age, they can. In fact, keeping the little buggers off it is half the problem. They're dying. But if you can teach them how to dial for help, how to call mummy and daddy so that they can get in touch with them, how to get in touch with a neighbour, so there's support around. And that, again, is bringing communities back together, because it means the young parents have got to go to a neighbour and say, can we use you as the support system on this?